you saved up. You did the research. You bought the premium version, the one with the better specs, the better brand name, the longer warranty, the price that felt like it meant something. And for a while, it was great. Then the software update changed the interface and half the features you used disappeared, or the subscription you didn't know was required went up 40% in year 2. Or the accessory you needed stopped being made because they discontinued the product line. Or the repair quote came back at $800 on a $1,200 device and the technician told you the part isn't even available anymore. Here's the thing nobody tells you about premium technology. The premium price buys you a better product on day 1. It does not protect you from every way a purchase can go wrong over the next 5 years. In some cases, the premium product creates problems that a cheaper alternative would never have. Today, we're going through 6 specific ways premium technology betrays the people who pay the most for it. Not theoretical risks, documented patterns. Things that are happening right now to people who spent more money specifically to avoid this kind of problem. Some of these will confirm a suspicion you already had. A few of them are going to genuinely surprise you. One of them involves a premium brand using its own software update to degrade a product you already paid for and getting caught doing it. Let's get into it. Premium doesn't mean repaired. It often means replaced at your expense. The assumption behind buying premium is that when something breaks, the company stands behind it. That assumption holds up better at some brands than others and collapses completely in ways that are hard to predict before it happens to you. Apple's out-of-warranty repair pricing is a useful case study. An iPhone 15 Pro with a cracked back glass, not the screen. The back costs $499 to repair out of warranty at an Apple store. The phone retails for $999. You're paying half the original price to fix one component. An iPhone 15 Pro Max battery replacement out of warranty is $99. A screen replacement on the same device runs $379. Apple Care Plus costs $9.99 per month, $120 per year, and still requires a $29 service fee for battery replacement and a $99 deductible for screen damage. These aren't unusual numbers. They're standard Apple pricing, documented on Apple's website. And because Apple uses proprietary screws, adhesives, and components with software pairing between parts, independent repair shops can only do limited work legally and practically. You're either paying Apple prices, or you're taking a risk on a third-party repair that may trigger software warnings and degrade functionality. The consequence: you bought a $999 premium smartphone. Your real cost of a 4-year ownership cycle, including one likely battery replacement, and a 50% chance of screen damage based on repair shop data, puts your total closer to $1,300 to $1,500 depending on your luck. That wasn't on the box. One owner on Apple's community forum put it plainly: dropped my iPhone 14 Pro, screen shattered, went to Apple for repair, $379. They told me that was the best option because third-party parts would disable Face ID, paid it, phone looks fine now. Can't believe a dropped phone cost $379 to fix when I spent $1,200 buying it. Bottom line, before buying any premium device, look up the out-of-warranty repair cost for the 2 most likely failures, screen and battery. If those numbers plus the purchase price exceed what you're comfortable with, factor that into your buying decision before you're forced to make it. But repair costs are just money. The next dark side of premium technology is something that costs you something harder to quantify: the software update that made your product worse, on purpose. In 2017, Apple acknowledged that it had been deliberately slowing down older iPhones through software updates. The stated reason: to prevent unexpected shutdowns caused by aging batteries that couldn't sustain peak processor demand. The practical effect: iPhones running iOS 10.2.1 and later were measurably slower than they'd been before the update. Apple called it a performance management feature. Owners called it something else. The result was a $500 million class action settlement in the United States covering owners of iPhone 6, 6 Plus, 6S, 6S Plus, 7 Plus, and SE running the affected software versions. Eligible claimants received approximately $25 each, a fraction of what many spent on battery replacements they were pushed toward by the slowdown they didn't know was happening. This is the specific betrayal of premium technology that has no equivalent in a budget purchase. A cheap TV with bad software is obvious from day one. You bought it knowing what you were getting. A premium device with excellent software on day one that gets deliberately degraded through an update you were told was for your benefit is a different kind of problem. You paid for something that worked. They made it work worse. And the terms you agreed to at setup gave them the right to do it. Apple is not the only company to have degraded existing hardware through software updates. Samsung has faced documented criticism for removing features from older Galaxy devices through firmware updates, including removing the DeX desktop mode from budget Galaxy models after purchase and altering camera processing in ways that owners described as making photos look worse in subsequent updates. One Reddit user in the Apple community captured it. iPhone 6S was running perfectly, updated to the latest iOS because it said security fixes. Phone became unusably slow. Apple offered a battery replacement for $29 at the time. Replaced the battery. Speed mostly came back. I paid to fix a problem Apple created through an update. Never again. Bottom line, before accepting any major firmware or software update on a device you depend on, search for device name plus update version plus issues and wait 2 weeks. If problems surface in the owner community, hold off. You can always update later. You can't unupdate once the damage is done. The accessory ecosystem trap. You didn't buy a product, you bought into a platform. Premium technology brands are increasingly designed around proprietary ecosystems where the product is only fully functional with matching accessories, which only that brand sells, at that brand's prices, for as long as that brand chooses to sell them. Apple's transition from Lightning to USB-C on iPhone 15 forced owners of the previous generation's accessories, cables, docks, car adapters, speaker systems to either replace them or use adapters. The same company that charged a premium for Lightning accessories for 11 years switched standards, making billions of dollars of third-party and first-party Lightning accessories significantly less useful overnight. Bose is another clear example. Bose's SoundLink and Quiet Comfort headphone lines use proprietary charging cables and connector systems that change between product generations. The SoundLink 2 used micro USB. The SoundLink 3 switched to a proprietary charging pin. The SoundLink Flex uses USB-C. Each transition orphaned replacement cables and accessories for the previous generation. Bose sells replacement cables for $19.95 when they're in stock, which they frequently aren't for older models. The real-world consequence shows up when you try to replace something small. An ear cushion set for a pair of Sony WH-1000XM3 headphones. A $350 premium device is $25 from Sony when available. When Sony discontinued the XM3 generation and shifted focus to the XM4 and XM5, replacement parts for the XM3 became inconsistently available through official channels. Third-party alternatives exist, but fit imperfectly. A $350 headphone becomes uncomfortable to wear long-term, not because the driver failed, but because the ear cushion foam degraded and the official replacement is out of stock. One owner on the Sony community forum described exactly this. Love my WH-1000XM3S. Bought them 3 years ago. Ear cushions are peeling. Sony's replacement pads have been out of stock for 6 months through their website. Third-party ones I tried don't seal properly, so the noise cancellation doesn't work right. $350 headphones I can't use comfortably anymore, and it's not because the headphones failed. Bottom line, before buying into any premium ecosystem, Check whether replacement parts and accessories are sold separately and readily available. If the manufacturer controls every replacement component and has a history of discontinuing older generation parts, you're not buying a product, you're renting performance until they decide to stop supporting it. The subscription pivot. The product you bought quietly became a service you pay for. Here's a dark side of premium technology that's happening right now across multiple categories simultaneously. General Motors announced in 2022 that it would begin charging a subscription fee of $25 per month for heated seat functionality on new vehicles, a feature that required hardware already physically installed in the first physicals. Seat. The capability was in the car. The ability to use it was placed behind a paywall. GM walked back the plan after intense backlash, but BMW implemented the same model in select international markets, charging for activated heated seats and other features that were physically present but software locked. This is not a future risk. It is a present ownership model being tested in premium products right now. The premium price buys you the hardware. A recurring subscription enables features that hardware is already capable of delivering. When the subscription ends, the capability goes away even though nothing in the car changed. In consumer electronics, the same model is accelerating. Peloton's connected fitness equipment requires a $44 per month membership to access all workout content. The physical bike costs $1,445. Without the membership, the bike functions as a basic exercise bike with limited features, a significant downgrade from the experience that justified the premium price. When Peloton raised the membership fee from $39 to $44 in 2022, existing owners had no recourse. They'd already paid for the hardware. They had to accept the new recurring cost or lose functionality. Roomba, owned by iRobot, acquired by Amazon in 2023, has been moving premium features behind its iRobot Home subscription tier. The premium robot vacuum you paid $800 for does less than it did when you bought it unless you add a monthly subscription that didn't exist when you made the purchase. One owner on the Peloton community forum described the feeling exactly. Bought the bike during COVID. $1,445 plus $39 a month. Now it's $44. When I bought it, they didn't say the monthly fee would increase. I feel like I'm being squeezed. I can't really stop paying or the bike becomes useless, and I can't get what I paid for it on resale. Bottom line, any premium product that requires a connected service to deliver its core functionality is a subscription product, regardless of what the box says. Calculate the 5-year cost before you buy. And if the company has already raised subscription prices once, assume they'll do it again. The depreciation cliff that premium brands don't warn you about, budget technology loses value fast. Everyone knows that. What's less understood is that premium technology in certain categories loses value even faster because premium products are sold on a technology curve that manufacturers deliberately accelerate. The smartphone resale market is the clearest example. An iPhone 14 Pro launched at $999 in September 2022. By September 2023, when the iPhone 15 launched, the resale value of an iPhone 14 Pro had dropped to approximately $450 to $550 on the secondary market, a 45 to 55% loss in 12 months. By September 2024, it was trading in the $280 to $350 range. A $999 premium device lost roughly 70% of its value in 2 years. This happens because Apple and Samsung and Google intentionally creates urgency around annual upgrade cycles through marketing, software feature exclusivity, and progressive camera improvements that make last year's model feel meaningfully older than it is. It's a deliberate strategy, and it works. The practical consequence affects anyone who planned to sell their current device to fund the next purchase. If you bought an iPhone 14 Pro for $999 and held it for 24 months planning to trade it in toward an iPhone 16, you walked in with a device worth $300. That's a $700 hole to fill before you even start talking about the new phone's price. Samsung Galaxy series flagships follow a similar curve. A Galaxy S23 Ultra at $1,199 launches and drops to roughly $500 to $600 resale within 12 months of the S24 Ultra launch. Sony's premium cameras, high-end laptops, and flagship audio equipment all share this pattern: premium entry price, aggressive first-year depreciation driven by planned successor releases. One user on a phone trade-in subreddit documented it, paid $1,100 for Galaxy S22 Ultra, kept it in a case, screen protector, perfect condition. Went to trade in toward S24 Ultra. Best Buy offered $230. Samsung's own trade-in portal offered $280. That phone is 4 months old and in flawless condition. Lost $820 in 2 years. Bottom line, if you plan to resell or trade in a premium device to fund the next purchase, build the depreciation into your calculation up front. Premium devices in annual refresh categories lose 40 to 60% of value in the first year. If your budget requires resale value above that, buy one generation behind the flagship. The performance gap is small and the savings are real. The repair right fight you're losing without knowing it. This is the one that affects premium device owners most directly, and most of them don't realize it's happening until they're sitting across from a repair estimate they can't believe. Right to repair legislation has been moving through state legislatures. But in the meantime, the premium technology ecosystem is aggressively structured to limit where you can get your device fixed and how much it will cost. The goal isn't overtly stated. The result is unmistakable. Apple's parts pairing system means that replacing certain components, screens, batteries, cameras, Face ID sensors with third-party or even genuine Apple parts from another device triggers software warnings and, in some cases, disables functionality. Apple's independent repair provider program allows some third-party shops to use genuine parts, but the program has documented restrictions on which repairs those shops can perform and requires shops to send diagnostics data to Apple. John Deere, not consumer electronics. But the same principle has faced significant regulatory pressure for using software to prevent farmers from repairing their own equipment. Tractors worth $400,000 to $600,000 require an authorized dealer to perform diagnostics and unlock repair permissions for many failures. Farmers in remote areas have waited weeks for an authorized technician when a tractor failure during harvest cost them thousands of dollars per day in lost capacity. The FTC issued a report in 2021 specifically addressing repair restrictions in consumer electronics, finding that manufacturer restrictions on repairs harm consumers through higher repair costs, longer wait times, and increased device replacement driven by repair inaccessibility rather than genuine product failure. For you, the practical consequence is this. You bought a premium product partly because you expected it to last. Whether it lasts depends partly on whether you can get it fixed when something breaks. And the premium brand may have structured the repair ecosystem specifically to ensure that fixing it costs more than you expected or isn't possible at all through channels other than the manufacturer. One iPhone owner described the corner they found themselves in: screen cracked. Apple quoted me $279. Found an independent shop that could do it for $90. Did it. Now Face ID doesn't work. Apple says third-party screen breaks biometric functionality. I had to go back to Apple and pay another $279 to get a genuine screen and restore Face ID. $369 total for a cracked screen. I could have bought a different phone. Bottom line, before buying any premium product, search for whether independent repair is supported or restricted. If the manufacturer actively blocks third-party repair or pairs parts in ways that degrade functionality, that restriction belongs in your total cost of ownership calculation. It will affect you eventually. What you actually need to take from this: 4 discoveries that should change how you evaluate any premium purchase from this point forward. 1. The premium price buys you better hardware. It does not buy you a better software update policy, lower repair costs, or protection against subscription pivots. Those risks exist at every price tier, and in some cases, premium products create unique exposure that cheaper alternatives don't. 2. Software updates on premium devices can degrade functionality after purchase. It has happened, it has been documented, and it is disclosed in terms of service that the manufacturer has the right to do it again. This is not limited to Apple. 3. Any connected premium product that requires a service subscription to deliver its core experience is not a product you own outright. You're in a financial relationship with that company for as long as you want the device to work the way it did when you bought it. 4. Repair accessibility is part of the true cost of a premium device. If independent repair is restricted or parts paired in ways that limit your options, the premium brand has quietly increased your total cost of ownership without that number appearing anywhere on the receipt. The single biggest mistake premium buyers make is treating the purchase price as the full cost of ownership. It isn't. Not for smartphones. Not for smart home devices. Not for connected fitness equipment. Not for high-end cameras or audio gear with subscription-dependent features. Calculate total cost of ownership across 5 years before you buy, including repairs, subscriptions, and likely resale value, and compare that number honestly to what a step-down alternative would cost over the same period. Sometimes the premium product wins that calculation. Sometimes it doesn't. What's the most expensive premium technology mistake you've made? The one where the product let you down in a way the price tag should have prevented? Drop it in the comments. And if this changed how you think about your next purchase, subscribe. There's more where this came from.